this is my cheese polpette with bucatini and a really gorgeous buttery tomato sauce. Very simple to make. It does require 1, 2, maybe 3 pans. This is proof that I can make dinner in about 15 minutes. I've got Noah has just arrived home from preschool. We've got spaghetti and meatballs that are going to happen in, I hope, about 15 minutes. First job is to get your water on to boil. So I have a little trick that I do when I'm making pasta, which is fill up your pan maybe like a quarter of the way through. And in the time it takes for a kettle to boil, this is going to come up to temperature and you're going to have a big pot of boiling water in the time you need it. So let's fill our kettle up. Let's get this on the boil. I'm also going to get the heat on one of my pans, maybe this smaller pan, because I want to toast off some fennel. Fennel is one of the key ingredients to our sausage meatballs here and will make all the difference to a really, really flavorful meatball. So kettle is on. We're going to get that onto the boil and we're going to grab up some fennel seeds. So these beauties, they've got that really gorgeous aniseed hit, and fennel and sausage and pork really work well together. So about a tablespoon of fennel seeds going in here. They literally need a minute. Now this is the sort of thing that I do and I always forget and then they burn, so I have to keep my eye on that. Now, other ingredients we're gonna need are some tomatoes. I've got loads and loads of tomatoes. We've got some spinach, I've got some butter. Now, whenever I am in the supermarket and I see pork sausage, I always put it in the trolley because it means that I have something that's a great cheat ingredient and it's a really great building block for a lot of flavorful dishes. I make a pork ragu with it, or like a sausage ragu with it, with the fennel seeds as well. So this is gonna form the basis of our meatballs. To this, we're gonna add an egg and a little bit of breadcrumbs. This is not essential, especially with pork sausage, but you will get a more consistent and even sort of meatball. Just gonna give the spices a quick toss. The moment you know they're done is when they become sort of like fragrant and you'll smell them, and you don't want to get them to the point where they're like smoking and burnt. So keep your eye on them. We've got some breadcrumbs, we've got some bucatini. That fennel is nearly done and I'm gonna bring that over too. Now, you don't have to do this with your fennel seeds, but I promise you it will make the world of difference. Taking hot fennel seeds that have been introduced to a little bit of heat, they've come electric, they've come alive in the pan, and we're gonna pop them into a pestle and mortar. So fennel seeds in, we're gonna take that pan while it's still hot and dump in our tomatoes. I gave these a quick wash as soon as they came in from the supermarket. You don't have to cut them or anything. We're gonna pop them in with a good, generous amount of butter. The butter and the oil we're gonna add here is really gonna give you gorgeous flavor. So a generous bit of butter goes in, and to this, we're gonna grab up some oil. So come over here. We're gonna take a good glug of oil going in here, about a tablespoon or 2. Season it up with some black pepper, a little bit of salt, and my last ingredient, always to bring the flavor of tomatoes alive, is to get some thyme in there as well. This is the dregs of the herbs that I have in the fridge. I can't grow decent herbs in Los Angeles, so if I ever have them, I always try and keep as much as I can. So I've got sage here, but I'm not gonna add that in. And I'm not bothering at all to pick these off the stem because I want to pick them out later. So butter, oil, salt, pepper, thyme, bring this into the heat and we're gonna make magic. While that's cracking away, we are gonna get on with these meatballs. So we've our egg, we've our breadcrumbs, we've got our fennel seeds, which are now hot. They've been toasted, they're flavorful. Get in there and give it a good mash. Now, it's little steps like this that are gonna change how your home-cooked dishes taste. Little tiny little hits of spice and flavor that you can eke out are a real winner. So about a tablespoon, something sizzling over in the back, so let's give that a quick toss. The butter's melting, the oil's going wild, so let's turn that to a sort of a medium heat and let that cook away. Back over here, we've got our fennel, we've got our pork sausage. We're gonna pop that straight in. This is actually sort of like a hot Italian sausage. So just have a look at that. There's loads of beautiful fat in there, and fat is flavor when it comes to meatballs. And fat is also gonna give you really tender meatballs, so don't skimp on the fat when it comes to the meatballs. Right, pork sausage in, let's give the hands a quick wash. Now, while that is cooking out, we want to give it a little bit of spice, so about a teaspoon of chili flakes, if you want to. Now, if you don't want it hot and you don't want it spicy, don't add this in. You can leave it and it'll cook beautifully. But a teaspoon of this will go a long way to giving you a little bit of a pep in your step. So, nice little toss. The butter's melting, the thyme is going on, and this is gonna basically cook down until those cherry tomatoes are sweet, caramelized, and almost like bursting at the seams. So we're actually gonna use some of these chili flakes. You only want about a teaspoon. To this, we've got our egg. We've got about 50 grams of breadcrumbs, about 2 tablespoons of breadcrumbs going in here. And I nearly forgot, I want to add some garlic to both the meatballs and to the sauce. So out with a knife, and with something like this, I probably want about like 2-3 cloves. Will do us both in the meatballs and in the sauce. Now, if you have a little more time, take a little bit of sea salt and mash this with the back of the knife on the board. But if you don't and you're trying to just crack through, you can finely chop it as finely as you can go in a short amount of time. I don't want you spending hours with this. So a little bit of that goes into our meatballs and the rest goes in with our cherry tomatoes, which you can see are starting to kind of give us a little bit of action. They're reducing down, they're coating in that gorgeous sauce. So let's get on with our meatballs. I'm gonna mix this up, not by hand, just for the ease of life. Okay, our meat mix is looking good. We're gonna form that into balls. I have my kettle boiled, so let's get our boiling pot of water on the roll. To this, we're gonna add a little bit of salt. It needs to taste like the sea. Not that I suggest drinking seawater, but it does need to be heavily salted. While that's coming back up to the boil in like a minute or so, we're gonna get the heat on our pan in here. We're gonna add a little drop of oil. The pot is up to a nice rolling boil at this point. Our olive oil is at a medium-high heat. We've got our cherry tomatoes absolutely looking gorgeous. I want to get our spoon in there and just show you what we're dealing with here. Look at the magic. 2 punnets of tomatoes, and you've got this beautiful velvety tomato sauce. Okay, this is looking pretty good. We're in a good place. Let's form our meatballs. Let's get them fried off. I say meatballs, but they're kind of like polpette. They're just like tiny little bite-sized balls. I don't know if I can call them balls because they're certainly not looking like balls. They're much more free-form balls here. I suggest you keep your balls free-form throughout the year. Enjoy. Okay, we've got our last meatball, and now this is... You want me to put the lion on? This is what happens when you're making a meatball recipe. You want to put the lion toy on? Will Papa sing you a song? There was a little boy and he had a little toy and his name was Noah Bear. Right, we have bucatini, which is that sort of thick spaghetti with the little hole in the middle. We have our meatballs looking good. Do you want a light? Are we going to put some pasta on? Huh! You want to put the pasta in? Okay. It's very hard to do the cooking show and have a child in the kitchen at the same time, but sometimes you just have to keep going. You want to sit up there? Okay, you sit up and you keep watching what's going on, okay? And if anyone does anything wrong, you let me know. Now, we're going to put our pasta on and make sure this is cooked out. So a full pack of pasta goes in. Now are we going to cook the meatballs? Okay, we put them in the hot oil. Okay, so let's get them in. So all I'm looking for is for these to kind of turn a nice golden brown on both sides and for them to be cooked all the way through. And essentially then you have bucatini, you have that beautiful cherry tomato sauce, and you have all these gorgeous meatballs, or polpette, or freeform meatballs, whatever you're gonna call these yourself. You want one of these? We have to cook them first. Venta. Right, we have good things happening right now. We have a child who needs some food. We've got beautiful frying off here. We're looking for these to go golden brown. I might add a little bit of tomato passata into this just to kind of loosen out our sauce. Our bucatini is going to be cooked, and then we have dinner to the table, my friend. We've got that dinner to the table. Let's go! Now, I did say, like, these are not like perfectly rotund meatballs. These are kind of scraggy and good looking meatballs. They're homemade and I love that about them. We have our bucatini, which is just about cooked. I'm going to check and see where we're at. Yeah, that's exactly where we need to be. I'm going to whack off the heat on that. Our meatballs are pretty much where they need to be. And just look at this, because this is what's happened after about 15 minutes of those tomatoes melting into the butter and the oil. Give it a good mix through. I'm going to pop that straight in over all those beautiful meatballs. Hello. Okay, we are in a good place. Those tomatoes are in there and they're just mixing through and they're sizzling away. So there's a few little things we need to do to finish. I'm going to drain off our bucatini. It's finished cooking at this point now. Where is my bleeding colander? Let's see, something happens in my kitchen. The colander is not where it's meant to be. This is what causes regular arguments in our house. The colander is not put back where it needs to be. We won't get into that right. Okay, Sophie, let's save this for later. Let's save it for the counsellor. Save it for the marriage counsellor. Now that we've found the colander, everything is calm in the kitchen and dinner's nearly ready. So we're going to drain off our bucatini. And actually, for ease of stirring things through, I'm going to pop the bucatini straight back into the pot. And I always hold back a little spaghetti because there's always a need for some later. And Noah has a tendency of wanting spaghetti without the sauce sometimes. So I always hold back a little bit just in case. Beautiful pot of bucatini. Now, let's talk about these meatballs. I always suggest that it is imperative that you mix through some of the sauce. Rather than dumping everything in there, take up like good dollops of that sauce. You might get a few meatballs in there and that's okay, but you want to mix through the sauce before you add the meatballs. And so the meatballs should be kind of added at the end. And I like the idea that you get a lot of saucy spaghetti or bucatini, and then you can top it with all the meatballs on top. It means that you get sort of even distribution of your meatballs when you go to serve it up. This little idea I've been doing for a while now, and it really helps to make sure that you have a saucy sort of spaghetti that you get to serve the meatballs on top of. And a little tip at this point now is to add in your basil. I'm gonna add some basil here just to really add some sort of fresh aromatics. Now, if you wanna keep the leaves whole or you wanna chop them, it's up to you, but I like the idea that the heat is gonna melt down some of these basil leaves so that you have a nice hit of basil as you eat through this. Okay, this is looking gorgeous. I wanna add in a touch of olive oil, not only for the flavor, but for its kind of lusciousness that it adds to pasta as well. So about a teaspoon or so is going in. Give that all a mix through. So now you're in business. You have pasta that is not dry looking. You have meatballs that are cooked. You have everything that you can serve to the table and is good to go. So I'm gonna go for a bit of a pasta twirl. and almost on cue, eat pasta? Do you want some pasta? Are you gonna try with Papa? This is also what happens when it comes to dinner time. It's very hot. Are you hungry? This child has the appetite of a horse. I don't know what happened in the womb. Now, everything's very hot, so be careful. So we're going to take up some meatballs and some tomatoes. And you want some of that on top? Before this gets devoured, I want you to get in there and have a look and see how beautiful it looks. We're gonna add in some basil leaves. Can you pick off the basil leaves for Papa? Can you do the basil leaves? Okay, you do the basil leaves. Now pick them off. Make them look pretty, Noah. Make them look pretty. No. A little bit of Parmesan cheese over the top, even though Noah doesn't care. He just wants, look at what's going on over here. This is ridiculous. Hey, are you gonna wait till we put some Parmesan cheese on top? Yeah. A little bit of Parmesan. And my friends, there you go. A beautiful plate of pasta. Do you like it? He's literally sucking the sauce off the pasta. I am gonna try it. So I want a little bit of the meatball, I want a bit of the pasta, and it's all about that sauce. One of the dishes we used to always have was made by my friend's mother, Shashdeen. And Shashdeen used to always make this creamy spinach chicken pasta, which can be made in a matter of minutes. It is booming with flavor and it is so easy to make. It starts off by getting your pasta on the boil. I have a big pot of boiling water, and before I stick this pasta in, I've got some tagliatelle. I'm gonna hit it with some sea salt, getting it straight in there. We've got a lot of tagliatelle going in here. You can use whatever pasta you like, but I think the sauce goes really well with the tagliatelle. There's a bit of bite to it and it's very nice. So a few little balls of tagliatelle go in here. Give them a quick stir up just to make sure that they start to come loose. And now it's straight on to our sauce. Because you've got your pasta cooking, you need to get your sauce straight on. The beauty of this recipe is that while your pasta is cooking, your lovely sauce comes together. So we're gonna start off in a frying pan with a little bit of butter. My cooker is not plugged in, and that is what's required in order to cook. So we'll just cut this and we'll get our plug. Now that that's plugged in, that's the noise you're looking for. My pan is on, it's heating up nicely. We're gonna melt in some butter, just 1 or 2 knobs of butter going in here. And we're gonna fry off our chicken with the butter. But before we do, we need to season it up with some sea salt and some black pepper. And you're gonna fry these off until you have a nice golden color all the way over. A little bit of oil goes into the pan just to help prevent the butter from burning. And then give your chicken a good mix up, just so that it's nicely seasoned all the way through. As much as I love cooking, I loved being in a pop band. We had so much fun on the road. We supported the Pussycat Dolls, and yeah, we had lots of fun. But one of my favorite things was to cook for the band, and so we often had healthy salads, but this was like a proper little comfort food dish. So if we'd had a long day on the road, we'd sung our hearts out, it was time to eat something comforting and good, and this is the dish for the job. Chicken straight in here. Get it fried off and nicely golden all the way over. While the chicken is cooking off, I'm gonna chop up some garlic. Garlic adds really great flavor here, so you just want nice thin slivers. And the smell is starting to come together. You've got beautiful frying chicken, you've got this wonderful garlic. It's time to get the garlic straight in there. Just sprinkle it all the way over the top. Nice hunky chunks. And we're gonna give that a stir through, but before I do, I'm just gonna chop up my sun-dried tomatoes. Now, if you can't get sun-dried tomatoes, you can take little cherry tomatoes, drizzle them with some olive oil, some balsamic vinegar, a bit of salt and pepper, and put them in an oven at 200 degrees Celsius for about 40 minutes, and you'll be left with the most beautiful little tomatoes, which can be added in soups and sandwiches, or in a pasta dish just like this. Back to the chicken, check out how it's going on, give it a good stir, get your garlic going on in there. Okay, chicken is cooked through, garlic is smelling beautiful. Get in there with just a little more butter, and we're gonna start a sauce going on in here. So melt down that butter, and in on top of that, we've got some cream. So cream goes straight in. And you wanna sizzle this away just until it reduces, intensifies a little bit. The sauce is now thickened up ever so slightly, so I'm gonna get in there with our spinach, and it does look like a lot of spinach here, but stick with me, okay? We're gonna get it straight in there, try not to get it all over the counter, as I have, but that's not the end of the world. Get that in there and let it wilt down. This is gonna give you great green color in through that creamy sauce. It's a true thing of beauty. Check this out, that wonderful sauce has bubbled up, it's cooked, and now it's ready for those cherry tomatoes. So get them straight in there. Give them a quick mix through, and now this sauce is ready for the pasta. So grab it, drain it, if I can get this glove on me. Drain it over by the sink. Where else would you drain it? I don't know, not on the floor. Stick your pasta straight back in. Oh, I've got some stuck to the bottom. Stick this straight back in. And now it's time to get mixing. So pasta is cooked. Get this straight across. Mix your sauce straight in. And now, using tongs, give it all a good mix through. Oh, it looks so good. It is creamy, it is steamy, it is delicious. This is a dish for dinner, it's a dish for loving, it's a dish for good times, it's a dish even if you're not in a pop band. Finish it off with a nice bit of Parmesan cheese over the top, and there you have it. A thing of true beauty. And now, it's forking time. Get it in there, get some pasta, get some spinach, get some of that cherry tomato, get the creaminess. I'm pretty excited about this, as you can probably tell. If you've ever been to an American Italian restaurant, you will definitely have heard of chicken parmesan. Or is it chicken parmesan? I never quite know. Either way, this is an incredibly comforting dish of cutlets of chicken, breadcrumb till crispy, covered in tomato sauce, and then baked in the oven with oozy, goozy, lovely cheese on top. It's gonna be absolutely delicious, and it's very easy to make. It starts off with a really good tomato sauce, and for that I have some garlic, some onions. We're gonna get frying them off in this little pot here and make up this tomato sauce. So in with a teaspoon or a tablespoon of olive oil. Once you've got that olive oil starting to heat up, it's time to get in there with some onions and a little bit of garlic. As soon as those onions start to sweat down and become a little bit more tender, it's time to add in some of our aromatics. I've got a pinch of chili flakes and a pinch of dried oregano. Now that it's become nice and aromatic, it's time to get in there with our plum tomatoes. Now, when you've added those tomatoes, just press them down with the back of a wooden spoon. I'm gonna actually finish this off in a food processor so I get a super smooth marinara sauce. But in the meantime, just let it cook away really nice and gently and let those flavors come together and intensify. Last little touch is a tiny bit of sea salt and black pepper just to season it up. You don't actually need that black pepper in there, but because you have the red chili flakes and the black pepper, it kind of rounds off the spiciness. So give that a last little stir. Now, while this simmers away and intensifies in its flavor, we're gonna talk about our chicken. It's a very simple breadcrumbing method here. I've got breadcrumbs, I've got egg, I've got a little bit of flour. But what we need to do to make sure that we get really nice crispy chicken breasts is to bash it between some parchment paper. So grab up a nice sheet of parchment paper, slap in your chicken breasts, like that, and then fold over that bit of parchment paper, and then using a rolling pin or a meat hammer will do the job as well, just gently bash these to about 1 centimeter in thickness. Okay, we are in business. We have beautifully smacked chicken breasts, and now it is time to bread these beautiful little babies up. So just remove any of that excess parchment paper, and now it's just a case of dipping the chicken in all these different pane stations. So firstly, we need to season them. So a good bit of sea salt and black pepper goes into the flour. Generous bit of sea salt goes in here as well. And then just using a fork, give it a good mix through just to make sure it's evenly combined. And now it's a quick, swift movement from chicken to flour to egg to breadcrumbs to hot oil. My chicken is cooking off and it needs about 4 minutes either side or just until it's completely cooked through. I've got a nice golden brown color on that chicken, and at this point, now that it's cooking off quite nicely, my tomato sauce is looking really good right now. You can see that it's reduced right on down. So I'm just gonna get it into the mixer and get blitzed up. Right, our beautiful tomato sauce is done and ready to go. It's super smooth and our chicken breasts are just ready to go. You can see we've got a gorgeous golden color on it. That is exactly what you're looking for. And remember, this is gonna bake off in the oven for a little bit longer, so just make sure you have that really nice, rich golden color on it. So drain them out on a plate lined with some kitchen paper, and now it is time to construct this chicken parmesan. So grab up that tomato sauce that we've blitzed up to a nice smooth finish, and we're gonna tip out about half of this just across the base. So once you've got a nice smooth base just like this one, I'm gonna take up those chicken breasts and stick them straight in that tomato sauce. They're still nice and crispy and very, very hot. So finish it off with the rest of that tomato sauce. Once you've spread that tomato sauce all over your wonderful chicken, it is time to finish it off with the key ingredient to chicken parmesan or chicken parmesan. It is some Parmesan cheese. So grate up your Parmesan cheese nice and finely, and actually a good tip is if you want really gorgeously grated Parmesan cheese, blitz it up in a food processor. Otherwise, on a microplane grater will do the trick. So sprinkle this straight over the top, and you want to be pretty generous with this. I don't think it can take any more Parmesan cheese right now. And a last little touch, this is my little Italian trick that I picked up when I was traveling in Italy, is just sprinkle that Parmesan with a little bit of water just over the top. It'll help create a little bit of steam, and where Parmesan doesn't really normally melt that well, it'll help it along the way. So now this goes into an extremely hot oven at 250 degrees Celsius, about 450 degrees Fahrenheit, and you just want that cheese to be nice and melted. Let's go. This chicken parmesan has had its time in the oven. You can see that that cheese has melted. It's gone a little bit charred on the outside, and you got that rich tomato sauce. And this is what I'm talking about. This is why it is worthwhile making this delicious dish. Now, to serve this up, I'm gonna add a little bit of spaghetti to the plate, just freshly cooked spaghetti with a little bit of olive oil. But before I do that, I wanna try this gorgeous, cheesy, chickeny, parmesan-y goodness. So, a little bit off the edge there. This is what it's all about. That crispy chicken covered in tomato sauce, all that cheese over the top, and baking it in the oven just until it's bubbling and golden really makes all the difference. So now I get to try it. Wow. You cannot come to Sweden without trying some traditional meatballs, and I have come to the right place. As you can see beside me, I have one of the best köttbullar makers in the world. This is Gunvor, Sophie's granny, and she is going to show us how to make a traditional Swedish meatball. What is the secret? What are the ingredients we need? All of these. Men du måste säga vilken ingredients du har. You have to tell me which ingredients.
Jag har bröd här.
We have a little bit of breadcrumbs in the bowl. We have a good mix of beef and pork, and that's a good mix for the köttbullar. We have some normal onion, and you've chopped, finhackad, chopped it up.
Och sen så har vi ett ägg.
Okay, one egg. And this is to bind it, to bring it together?
Ja.
Perfect, okay.
Och sen har vi salt
Ja.
och peppar.
Salt and pepper, you can understand that. Oh, the egg.
Sen så har vi potatismjöl.
Potatismjöl?
Ja, för att binda ihop
Okay.
smitten eller...
Okay, so she's using potato flour to bring the whole köttbullar together. The Swedish meatballs together. Nice. You have a little bit of attika.
Ättika, ja.
This is vinegar. Gunvor was telling me she used to use vinegar because when they didn't have a fridge, the theory was that by adding a little bit of vinegar, it would kill any of the bacteria.
Yes.
Is that right? Yeah. So you still do it today, even though you have the biggest fridge I've ever seen in my life. But it funked.
I always use
Attica. Okay, okay. Okay, so how do we start? What do we need to do to make the köttbullar?
You must take all the
Ingredients
ingredients together and mix it
in the bowl.
in the bowl.
Let's start it, so. What's the most Swedish recipe?
Det är väl ärtor.
Ärtor? Peas?
Soppa. Soup.
Oh, pea soup.
Ja.
Yeah? Oh, älskar. Do you like it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
And pancakes to
Pancakes med pea soup.
pancakes with sylt.
Okay, so pancakes and jam.
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 After.
You eat first. You eat the pea soup,
Yeah.
or then you eat the
Pancake.
pancakes. Okay,
And you can have
a good time. Yeah. And Gunvar, you have to tell everyone at home about the first time I came to your house and I had a kräftskiva. How did you think I was at the kräftskiva? So we had a crayfish party here at Gunvar's house a few years ago, the first time I came to Sweden. And the thing about the Swedish crayfish party is that when you come, you eat lots of crayfish, but when you eat lots of crayfish, you also drink lots of schnapps. And Dick, who is Gunvar's husband, loves giving everyone schnapps. And Dick gave me a lot of schnapps, didn't he? I was singing very well, don't you think?
It was very nice.
Good. All the meatballs are ready. Och hur länge i the ugn?
20 to 25 minutes.
So the meatballs go into the oven for 20 to 25 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius.
Yes, 180.
Perfect. Bra, nu kör vi! We have the meatballs in the oven, they're cooking away, and now we're going to make the potatismos, which is the mashed potatoes which you serve alongside the meatballs. So in this pot we've boiled up the potatoes, they're nice and soft. Och nu, vad vill du göra? What will you do?
Mosa.
You will mosa? Mosa.
Mosa.
A lot of butter.
Ja, nej, det blir bra.
The butter bra. Okay, so that goes in there. You gotta have butter if you're gonna make mashed potatoes. For me, in Ireland, we always have a lot of butter. So is that okay?
A lot of butter.
A lot of butter. I like that you got my accent down. Butter. Butter.
Do you want more?
Let's put a bit more in. Why not? Varför inte? Okay, bra. I'm getting very hungry now.
Ja.
Are you hungry? You too. Do you think Dick is hungry?
No.
Yeah.
He's always hungry.
He's always hungry.
So I take a little pepper.
A little bit of white pepper. Och nu, what's the next ingredient?
Milk.
Little bit of milk. So, how much milk? Oh, a lot of milk apparently.
Ja, det får
Wow.
inte vara...
Mycket milk. Now, we're going to serve this up with the meatballs. And what else do we need? Vilken andra ingredients?
Lingon då.
Lingon.
Lingon.
So lingon is lingon jam or lingon silt. Lingon jam, it's from the lingonberry. And it's lite sött or sur. Sött. So it's a very sweet jam that you serve alongside. It sounds a bit strange, but it's the traditional way. Oh, hang on, Dick is here. So our potato mash is done. We have our meatballs. We have our glamorous assistant Dick in the kitchen, and we're going to make a brown sauce, and then we're going to serve it all up, and we're going to tuck in. Är det bra?
Det är bra.
Perfect. Guys, you are in for a treat today because not only am I in the kitchen, but I'm joined by a very special guest. It's my mom!
Hi everyone!
I know, she's so excited.
I can't believe it's let me cook.
I know, are you really? I'm so
I'm
excited.
so
Are you excited?
excited.
Oh, we're really excited. we're going to make for you a classic recipe that you always make for me, which is my mom's coq au vin blanc. And if you're wondering what that is, it is a creamy chicken dish which has lovely wine through it, it has lovely pancetta, it has a little bit of onion, it's very, very tasty. But your twist is that if you don't have red wine, which is the classic way of making coq au vin, you do it with
white. Blanc is white.
Thank you, in French. Perfect.
En français.
En français. So while you're cutting up the mushrooms, I'm going to cut up the onion. So a nice fine chop on your onion. So look, we have pretty much all the things we need to make this coq au vin. That's the beauty of it. Not too many ingredients, very easy to make. Would you make this when I was coming home from school?
No.
Oh, great, okay. Get your pan on nice and hot. Oh, I forgot, there's lots of garlic in here. It's a French recipe, of course, so lots of garlic is really essential. So we've got about 4 cloves of garlic. Here, I'll give you that job and I'll brown the chicken. When the pan is nice and hot and your oil is just about smoking, you need to get your chicken in and browning. That is the sizzle you are after. So get it.
Did you not season that chicken before?
Oh, I'll season it now, right?
Yeah,
Okay, here.
sorry.
You do the salt, I'll do the pepper.
Yeah.
So a nice bit of seasoning, some sea salt, some black pepper. Okay, thanks very much. Okay, so chicken off. And now all that's left in that pan is these wonderful chicken juices. So don't throw them away. You need to get that lovely chicken juice and hit it with some salty pancetta. Now, if you don't have pancetta, you could use...
Rashers.
And by rashers, she means bacon. So we're gonna use, you can either use smoked streaky bacon, pancetta, or what we have, which is a bit of both. So get that in there. Fry it off. Okay, check it. Will you just be quiet for a minute? I'm trying to bleed and record a TV show. Okay, Liz is gonna put in the onions. I should have said, my mom's name is Liz. I don't know if any of you realise that, but
Yeah.
say hello, Liz.
Hi, how are you?
There you go.
Yeah. Garlic.
So it's onion and garlic and the bacon. And actually, I like to add a little butter in here as well. Need to add in some of these beautifully chopped mushrooms. You've done a fine job, a fine
100%.
job. You can use whatever mushrooms you want. We're using kind of button mushrooms and they're fine. And now the last thing we need to add in is a little drop of white wine. And when I say a little bit of drop of white wine, I mean the sort of amount that my mother normally drinks on a Friday evening.
No, that's lunchtime.
Oh, that's
Definitely, that's my lunchtime portion.
We're gonna hit it with our chicken legs.
I don't know how to open a bottle of white wine.
Somehow highly doubt that. All our ingredients are in there now. So what do we need to do?
I give a touch of black pepper. on
Black
top.
pepper, okay. So I was gonna say we need to slowly braise it, but what would you suggest we
I
need?
just like the look of the black pepper.
Oh, look at
Enough.
enough. Okay, salt, is that what you...
No, plenty of salt there.
I'm not putting that in now.
No.
Why'd you keep bringing it towards me? This is seasoned up, white wine, all those wonderful things are happening in this pan. How long would you leave it?
Oh, I'd give it a good 45 minutes. Maybe
45 minutes
45
to 50.
55,
50 minutes. Leave it covered and leave it for about 50 minutes. It slowly braises and becomes wonderfully tender, and you know it's tender because the chicken literally falls off the bone. So we can probably go and have a glass of wine now.
We'd probably fall off.
We'll see you in a second. Oh yes. These beautiful chicken thighs have had about 50 minutes. The next stage here is to take out the chicken thighs, and you can see that the meat is nice and tender. We've got wonderful sauce in the bottom here, and now what do we need to do?
We need to add the cream.
Yes, we do need to add the cream. What's with the accent?
I don't know.
It's just the excitement of YouTube, is
I
it?
know, it
Okay.
is.
So nice cream all the way in here, a generous bit of cream. And it's that combination of white wine, onions, pancetta, creaminess. Did you just throw your eyes up at the sky?
Yeah.
Did you not believe me?
Come on, finish the dish.
Delicious,
will you?
it's
Come on.
delicious. So bring it up to a rolling boil, and then at this point we can probably add in our chicken back in.
You go.
Yep, so get that back in there. The last little thing to do is to serve it with some parsley, and it's ready to rock. So parsley goes in, look at the color, green, fresh, aromatic. Those are all the things you want.
Green is good.
Green is good, yeah. So bring that to the boil and simmer it down for about 5-6 minutes, and then it's ready to serve
Yeah, how are you going to serve it?
in the pan.
in the pan to the table.
Straight like that.
Bread, rice. What are you going to serve?
Don't have any of those
Salad.
things. We're going to just
Have
try
you
it.
thought this through?
No, we're just going to eat it here because I'm hungry.
God, you kind of have to plan your meals, Donal.
Thanks, Mum.
Really, you know.
Thanks.
I mean,
I'm sorry.
okay.
Okay.
Let's serve it as you wish.
Okay.
Off we go.
This cream has bubbled away and look at this. It is ready to rock. How good does that look right now?
Donal,
Yeah?
it looks absolutely wonderful. Just a final little touch of parsley.
Nice little touch of parsley and
Yeah.
it's nearly done. I think, could we try it now?
I think we should.
Okay, we're going to try it.
I can almost taste it already.
So good. That chicken is really tender, salty, creamy. It's wonderful chicken braised in creamy white wine. How good does that?
Great depth of flavour. Brings me back to those days cooking in the kitchen.
Yeah.
The windows steaming up
Yeah.
of a cold winter's night.
Yeah. What were
You
we
doing your homework?
Oh.
Well, I had to help him with his homework.
Yeah, that was
Um,
a little bit.
But it was always tasty food like this that we always had.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. And that's why you need to try this recipe. The recipe is in the box below. Leave us a comment, say hello to my mammy Liz, and leave her something nice. And give us a big thumbs up. Subscribe to this channel for lots more delicious recipes like this. Tell them to subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Please subscribe. We're gonna tuck into our creamy white wine chicken now, and we will leave you to it. See you soon, guys.